Welcome to the Coffee Experts Club. If you're at all interested in anything we talk about in this episode, go ahead and check out the description down below, or if you even just want to know more about us, click on the links below. Now on to the episode.
Yeah.
Yo.
Coffee Experts Club. Good to see you, boys. How are you?
Good.
It's good. It's a good day.
We got snow last night. I was super stoked about that.
Snow in the Tri-City. It's always a good thing.
So I've heard.
It's
seriously,
probably
Drew,
gone by
do you
now, but it
remember
was
what that looks
nice
like?
to look at this morning.
Poor Drew's like, all I know is heat. That's all I know.
Yeah. I got sunburned this morning. I was only out for about 15 minutes.
Well, it's because you don't believe in sunscreen. So, I mean, that also lends to it, you know?
So yeah.
Yeah, how
I
much
don't
would you
believe in
say?
it.
How
That's
much would you say you've purchased in sunscreen over the last couple of years?
He's zero because our boy, because like
I don't use sunscreen.
And they got a whole argument about fallen cancer. Like, dude, you know how much cancer sunscreen causes? And then they go back and forth around fallen sun versus sunscreen. It's the funnest thing in the world.
Dude,
I don't use sunscreen.
Dead.
I don't use bug repellent. I don't use artificial deodorants. I use everything as natural as possible. But Ben, I know you use SPF 1000, so that's a different case.
Yeah, dude. If I didn't, my skin would be crackling. I would look like a piece of fried chicken if I was down there as much as
100%. I put on 70 everywhere I go. Every single day, I use 70 as face moisturizer. So I'm out in my head. Could you imagine? Anyway, enough about silly
boiled egg walking around.
Well, hey, I'm doing a guest. I'm at Oregon Mountain Coffee today. So shout out to Travis and just creating a cool thing. For those of you who have never been to Oregon Mountain Coffee, I think they've got a really cool thing they do on here. It's pretty awesome.
Right on.
Oh, wow.
As I sit in a cafe, it also makes me think about a cafe that Drew and I just opened this week. So I thought we could talk about what do you do when they tear down your building and you have to relocate, how easy was the process, and then some of the pain points we encountered and had to work through. I was not a married couple, although Drew always introduced me as his partner. Then it's the most awkward thing in the world. I'm like, bro, you got to clarify. You got to clarify that you're not into older dudes and that we are not married. But anyway, talk about partners and talk about making decisions and talking about what do you do when you're in the middle of frustration and how do you navigate that together, because grand openings are tense. That'd be a good episode for that.
Yeah, I'm really curious to hear how grand opening went. I know it was this time last week, right?
Yes,
Yep.
Yeah. So let's frame it as. Sorry, go ahead, Drew. I just did a bunch of framing. I was going to say I don't like cafes, so we should start there because I know you shot me a text yesterday and you're like, in your face.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird time of the year for us because we're pretty much dead in the middle of high season, right? Which is here, you want to make sure you're open and running for business during high season. So moving the store, we wanted to do it as seamlessly as possible. So we were closed for 2 days, I think, which sucks. 2 days revenue gone. I mean, every day of revenue is a day you need pretty much. But yeah, Aaron and I had debated and we've debabated on this show. Cafes, are they beneficial? Are they extra? What are the benefits? What are the drawbacks? The original location started off as pretty much a drive-through for feet. The first couple weeks, month, we didn't have any chairs or tables. Our bar was pushed up against the front of the opening. So you'd walk up, you get your drink, and you'd peace out. But it slowly developed over time as we added seats, from me standing behind the bar, totally dry, and watching 15 customers, try to squish up against the bar while it was raining to get out of the rain. It made me think we need to add lobby space. So it's evolved from that to what it is now. And I mean, it's always been a hesitation of like, we've had experience with lobbies where, you have more customer vision, which means more potential complaints. Customer bathrooms, which means more barista upkeep.
That's right.
Just the time they spend in a lobby, it's way more than what they'd spend just walking up, getting a drink and leaving. So it's just possibilities for complaints. It's more overhead. But really, like, what are the benefits that you do get? Because there are benefits. And I guess we've yet to see, other than I sit in there sometimes, and we went from about 9 chairs to like 24 chairs or something like that. And sometimes all the chairs are full, which makes me feel good. We could have never done that at the next store.
Yeah.
But yeah, the grand opening, right? I mean, we got AC. Yeah, we have better foods. We have just a nicer environment, better sound system, more privacy. It's off the street. There's a door, so there's no dust or dogs or, street vendors coming up to sell to our customers. Everything's changed. So really, Aaron doesn't like cafes, but I took a picture of our sales and sent it to him and said, what? How about I send some GIF or something? Who said cafes was a bad idea? Because the cafe's doing just fine.
And I do wonder if it's an evolution thing too, Ben. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I think at the beginning, the reason why, we always say kind of tongue in cheek, I hate cafes, but what I mean by that is like there's such a business model around drive-thru, right? Like it's all about an under 2 minute
Yeah.
drive time, right? Like you usually are going to have more than just probably one person in the car, so you see multiple drinks come from that one transaction versus a single walk up at a bar. You know what I mean? I think there's all the things Drew already listed, right? Open utilities, bigger square footage, bigger price per square foot that you're paying on your lease, like all the different things that are the things I'm like, dude, that's how we drop our cogs and want to increase our revenue. Yes, drive-through is the answer, right? But I do think having been in San Ignacio for the past 3 years, we've become like a hometown hero. I feel like there are things that we've really established where we talk about on the show all the time. Going to Belize, we had thought the majority of our business was going to be Americans. That's our whole target market. That's our avatar. We're going after tourists that are like, I don't want to see any other Americans when I travel, but where's my coffee? And then they'll bitch about all the local coffee. So it's like, how do we find that avatar? We're like, hey, we'll raise our hands. We know what you're looking for. Come here, right? But what we found is that at least half our traffic is local people. You know what I mean? So then what do you do when the local people want some place to sit down? Let's create a space. And that's been Drew's part, is like, let's create a space where the local people love it. And I think that's, in my mind, I think that's what we're seeing. I don't know if we had opened a cafe straight out of the can, if we would see the kind of results that we're seeing from this grand opening. But because we've become a hometown hero, because we've created an atmosphere people enjoy, because we've got speed, service, strength, the things that we always focus on, of these are our core things that we work on. I think 3 years later, the people have kind of stood up and said, this is what we want. And then I feel like we just gave them what they wanted. And so I think that's probably what we're seeing as a good result. So I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. We did hedge our bets a little bit, but we played with the system also. So after running our numbers from this grand opening, they're on par, if not better than our original grand opening, which was, no lobby. We were brand new. We charged $2 for drinks, and it was just us on the street. We were in the main thoroughfare. Now we've added some other additional obstacles. We raised it by $1 out of necessity, not because we wanted to. So it's $3 drinks. We're off the main thoroughfare. We're up some stairs. There's some obstacles to get to us. But what we did was we had vendors throughout the day, as we've talked about. We had live music. Almost all our vendors who came sold out of whatever goods they brought, if it was pastries or roses or some lunch food, some corn. They served a corn dish.
Drew promised me
it was just various things, some handcrafted jewelry.
Drew promised me we're going to have tacos, and we got corn. That's how that worked out.
Have you ever seen Nacho Libre? You know how they're eating the corn that has fancy stuff all over it?
I think it's called elote.
It was that corn.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, I thought the name was elotes tacos. It was my bad. It's called elotes locos. So that's where I got the taco thing mixed up.
One letter changed it all.
My bad. It was bad, at least in my brain, and for Aaron when we got hungry. But the vendors all did really well. When we added those additional things, the vendors, the live music, the just involving the community in the way that we did, we had a pretty on par grand opening. And not only that, but we've been here now for almost 4 years, 3.5 years. So thank God we've developed kind of a following. So a lot of our regulars came. And this, just pure respect to other local coffee shops. We had the owners of local coffee shops come in, 3 or 4 of them. They came in a couple times to see, what we had going on, to see our new environment, to see kind of how we did things, probably a little bit of market research. And, I'm super grateful for that, to see them there. But yeah, it was great. It was great response from the community. And I think it was just kind of everything worked out in our favor. Thank God, because so many things could have gone south.
And I mean, Ben, I think all the normal things that somehow plague Coffee de los Mayas, like, so night before grand opening, espresso machine's not working. And
oh my gosh.
Son of a bitch, the second grand opening, what? And it was a power problem again, Ben, right? We're like, how could this be? All the grand openings we've never done, we've never had a phone power problem with the espresso machine not working. We're going to deal with it twice. So it was crazy. We had to run a whole nother 220, had to do a bunch of troubleshooting. Ended up, Drew was the one that actually solved it. He's like, dude, unplug one of the air conditionings, plug into that one, see if that works, plug into that one, espresso machine on. We're like, so we played one of the units down, but at the same time, enough cool in the room, because we probably were overpowered with the amount of AC that we've got available in the room. So I feel like it was crazy and stressful. And I think, Drew, we should talk about that for a minute too. But Ben, do you have any questions about any of that stuff?
I'm curious, like where that new location at? Is it still pretty heavily golf cart street, or is it more of a foot traffic spot? Or how does that play?
That's a good clarity point. Drew, do you want to talk about the difference between our location?
Yeah. So on the mainland, it's real vehicles. It's
mainland
walking traffic. There's a spot we looked at for a drive-thru that probably would have been the best potential spot, but there was just too many obstacles in the way. So this one here is all foot traffic.
Nice.
We were really blessed. I mean, it was a perfect storm of good situations for us. And again, thank God for exactly how it worked out. But we
Yeah,
moved about 100 steps away.
yeah.
But it's not like a direct line. It's out off the street, around the corner, and
Mhm.
then across the street and up some stairs. You got to cross a busy street. There's always traffic moving. There's a speed bump, but not everybody's gonna stop or look. It's kind of complicated, but it is mostly foot traffic. And I mean, somehow people are finding us. We're just as busy as ever. Thank God. We did the work to kind of market ourselves, but there's nothing really on the street where we were other than like a banner saying, "Oh, we're over at this next location." But if you're a tourist, you don't know what the street names are, what the building names are.
Mhm.
But we've been doing pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds a lot like. I mean, I know you mentioned you guys are kind of reaching hometown hero status, but we got to a point with roasters. It was like we could open up a shop anywhere, and you have an instant line. It kind of
Yeah.
sounds like you're getting to that point
Yeah.
where it's like, yeah, we know these guys. Like you said, you've got that hometown hero status. If you can find, it's more of like, can you find a spot with enough eyeballs or enough people around it that you can attract in? It's not like you have to go out and find customers. It's just, where are all of our customers at? Let's plop a shop there.
Well, I do think too that like what Wes did back in Roasters that I thought was really smart that I have not seen a lot of coffee shops do. We work with a lot of coffee shops. We work with a lot of people doing coffee. And I would say what Wes did with Roasters that I felt like was unique is that in 9 years he opened 15 locations. You know what I mean? And I think
Mhm.
that's a shit ton of stores to open in such a small window of time. But it also caused you to monopolize a town, right? Where you're
Mhm.
like, no, we're going to dominate here, And I think that like Drew and I have kind of taken that into this business model. 3.5 years in, we've opened 3 locations. I mean, this is our fourth grand opening, even though it's only 3 locations because we had to move one, right? But still, like
Mhm.
we're showing, hey, we're investing in this place. We're investing in this town. We're bringing like what we're saying of we're gonna upgrade the experience because we want to invest here. And that was what we really wrapped our marketing around. Hey, we had choices to move. We decided no, San Ignacio is our home. The city core is where we want to live, and we're going to invest there. And we're going to bring you a better experience. We're going to bring you like all the things that you've been asking for, better seating, air conditioning, give you a spot where you can come and work from and just hang out in and create a full local vibe. We had local music, like a couple guys that have both worked for us create live music that night on Valentine's. It was so cool to see
Great.
people roll up with couples and just decide to share their night with us. And I think the space really allows for that. It's big enough that we could have a live music thing going on and 2 other vendors, a florist vendor and a jeweler vendor, all set up in our location, all with plenty of space for people to speak and enjoy the night. And I think that's us speaking the language of the people. But I do think that there is that spot of no, yes, we're hoping that we're earning it, but we're also making a huge investment into we want to monopolize this thing. We want this to be our town. We want to own spot of hometown. Yeah, I think that's a really big deal.
I love that. Love that. Valentine's Day. That's such a great idea.
That was so kind. We just stumbled into
Yeah,
it,
and I
man. We
mean,
just fell into it.
yeah, and we could talk all day about how great it was and how good we did, but honestly, so much of that work was done by Alyssa, our marketing girl down here.
Yeah.
I just kind of was like, "Hey, I have these ideas. What do you think is possible?" And she goes, "All of it's possible. I'll get it done." And she did. She got it all done. So
It's such a and
she did an awesome job.
even like the stuff that she was putting out on our Instagram, like really unique stuff. Worked with a couple local guys that do video, a guy named Tyrone, a guy named Kevin that like really are good at the stuff with drones and ideas. And like one of the ads that we dropped or one of the posts we dropped that we boosted, like I haven't seen something that cool in the States. I haven't seen somebody do something that cool. And it was all their idea, doing super unique ideas where she's running from location to location, catching the drone in the air, walking it in, talking with like showing things around, like just cool stuff. It's cool to see believe like have their own flavor, have their own take, but have it like be a competitor. Something I'm like, dude, I would have like I'd love to stack up somebody else's marketing in the States or something so freaking I was so proud of it. And it was all this. It was all this and her putting together connections. Massive shout out to it.
Love that.
Yeah, let's talk about just for a couple minutes about the things that didn't go so well that we had to work through. So obviously, opening a grand opening is freaking stressful, like so stressful, right? Like even something 100 steps away, you got to move all that shit out of the old place into the new place, right? And you got to get everything all hooked up, and then you've got all that shit that you got to organize. And 2 days is just a quick freaking turnaround. You know what I mean? So you better be up and serving coffee for your biggest volume day of the year. I think we did like 1,100 cups or something crazy. Like,
Wow.
a lot of volume, that came out that next day. So in that, there's stress and there's frustration, and it's not like this is our only store. And so there's other things within the operation that's going on. And one of the things that happened is like shipping back and forth, right? And keeping goods coming and going and holding people accountable to things, even in the midst of the frenzy and the crazy and the stress. And I think that we had a lot of conversations around like accountability and how do we hold our leaders accountable. Drew, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I can have a Achilles. My Achilles is probably getting my head down and not being able to see everything when I get stressed out or when we get pressed for certain things. And as you mentioned, there are 2 other stores, and our stores run as like the ecosystem. There's always interchangeable pieces. There's exchanging going on. There's product going from here to there. We make syrups on the island and send them back, but we send frap from mainland to island and so on.
Hour and a half away without a mass transit that's super dependable. Yeah, go ahead.
Takes long. Ideally, there's somebody watching everything, and that was how we hope to set the system up. But I can tend to overlook things that are important. So if I'm like, okay, we have grand opening, I'm expecting this much cups, so I need this much product, I forget about the other 2 stores who need the same amount of product from the mainland. And so the accountability was slightly missed and needs to be reinforced. And okay, well, the island ordered this order. Did the order go out? Well, the order days happened to fall on 2 days we were closed. And then the day we had a grand opening. So no, the order didn't go out, but nobody knew till the following week. And then the island was out of frap mix, and we're hot. It's hot here. We're always selling fraps. And so on the back end, having conversations around, okay, well, what was missed? How was it missed? Where's the accountability? And how do we reinforce that system? Aaron and I had some back and forth about that.
Yeah. And I think that in that, in the heat of the moment, frustrations are high, things are high, like reactions are high, and it's like there's this whole that can create a tension. And I think anybody that works as partners, you realize you're going to come up against those tensions. There are going to be things that you don't always see to eye on, but I think that it's so important. And something I feel like Drew and I do really well is first there's a deep love, right? No, I'm not his romantic partner, but we are partners in business, and there's a deep amount of love and respect for each other, right? So it's like. So Drew got really passionate about a topic, and I felt like that's an overreaction. We had a defensive opinion on it, and I think that it was really good because we had to talk that out and realize that it's okay that we don't always agree on things, but whose lane does this live in more? And this is really more Drew's lane, so I'm going to back off. And we can have a defensive opinion, and I'm going to let Drew lean in because this is his end of the pool. And I'm not going to try and muddy things or muddle the waters or make things harder or make things difficult or stand my ground and fight this thing out. I think that realizing that not everything always goes right. There are all kinds of things that always can be problems. There are all kinds of things that you want to work differently. There may be even things that you're really passionate about, but really identifying, okay, but who should own this and who needs to get out of the way? Whose realm is this? And if it's that other person's realm as a partner, then it's my job as the opposing partner to bow out. I can give him my opinion, and I did. I told you how I felt about it. But in the end, I'm like, hey, in the end, this is your thing, and I trust you, and I love you, and I respect you, and we can respectfully disagree, and this is your thing, and I'm gonna bow out because this is your thing. And I think that's really important because business can get muddy, can get there can be tensions in it, but I think that a lot of it is humility and knowing when is your thing and when to defer and when to be able to just say, hey, I just spent so much time with you. Drew and I got so much FaceTime, which was so good. Drew and I don't get that kind of time typically, but we've just gotten a whole week together of long 16-hour days, crazy days, getting workouts in together, which was cool, getting meals together, which was cool. And I think it lent to, on the backside, when there is a frustration or a tension point, to be able to say, dude, there was so much love and good energy shared back and forth that it's okay. Yeah, this is a hiccup. It's a bump in the road. Sure. Emotions can be high. That's okay. Let's agree. Hey, let's let it breathe. Drew, it's really good to say, hey, I probably need a little bit of time for this to cool down a little before we have a conversation about it, which is great. That was great discernment on his point. We pumped the brakes, talked about the next day, and I felt like came to a good conclusion and worked forward through it, which I think was great for us.
Everything you're talking about can easily become a marriage killer. And right. Especially in the coffee world, because most coffee owners are partnered with their spouse, right? Mm-hmm. And there's nothing more. The nice thing about you and Drew is you go home, you don't have to sleep in the same bed. You at least get the night away from each other. Right. But if you can't create those lanes as a married couple, which most likely you are, if you're listening to this as a coffee shop owner, that's not only going to be frustration at the new location, that's going to be frustration at home with your kids, that's going to be frustration at home in bed, that's going to be frustration the next day at breakfast. So you have to, even more so if you're running your company as a married couple, you have to create those lanes and then have the ability to say, okay, we decided these were our lanes a year ago when we started this business, we're opening a new location, we're going to stick with that. And just because I'm headstrong and I think I can do it better, I'm not going to take over your lane, and vice versa, because once that starts happening, then the whole thing unravels and it turns into that marriage killer, and all of a sudden that business goes down the drain real fast.
True.
Yeah, and I think one big benefit of putting, as you mentioned, our relationship first is having to take a look at, like you say, I'll get passionate, and that's nice of you to say. I get frustrated. Like, in all honesty, I get frustrated with certain things, and passionate's a good word for it, for sure, respectful word. But what happens is, and in my history and any history of an owner, like, you started with having to do everything. And
right.
This is probably my days at Roasters speaking. I had to solve problems. I didn't always have all the data. But I had people above me saying, go do this, go do that. And I just go solve it. And so taking a step back and thinking, okay, well, this relationship is the core of, if the business is healthy, our relationship is healthy. And it makes me take a step back. I know I'm frustrated, but I need to think, let me look at all the data. Let me look at all the facts. Let me see if why I'm frustrated is based on reality and not just on the moment. So I can take a minute, look at the history. Okay, has this been a recurring issue? What have the downstream effects been? What really has the company suffered from this? Is it really as big of a deal as I think? And then all of that is stuff that is hard in the moment to do. But if you do remember, and kind of our mission statement is around this whole thing too. We're building communities. We're trying to have a strong community, not just with our customers, but within, and that does start with Aaron and I. And so taking a look at why we're doing this, the day-to-day can get really frustrating. But take a look at why you're doing it, and the frustrations can tend to fall to the wayside as you find solutions that are productive.
Good. That's good. Well, coffee experts, I hope you enjoyed it. Keep cheering us on down in Belize. I think that Drew and I talk about it every time. Every time we think we've got it solved, it's like some new thing pops up. We're like, son of a bitch. Like, how many new things do we have to face down here? But I think it's been exciting to open the first drive-thru coffee in the country of Belize. It was exciting to roll out another grand opening. Drew and I are wrestling about when the next one's going to come. Ben, she's like, not until 2027. I'm like, totally, not until 2027, January 2027. We'll do that. So we'll see what it comes. So at least we have some breathing time. But anyway, coffee experts, thanks for hanging out. Drew, Ben, thanks for being here. We'll see you guys next week.
Love it. See ya.
Thanks, guys.